What's going on, everybody? I took some of that stuff out my window in my basement. Now I got all my lights off, but I ain't even got my studio light on. But that little window that I did open up did do a difference. Y'all, I'm excited. In a couple more weeks, when I get paid again, which will be a couple more days from now, I am going to send off Miss Ewing's cup, and then I got to get with who's the other winner so I can get y'all. I ain't threw y'all names away. Please forgive me. I ain't living like I used to live, living la vida loca. But it is what it is. Rob, what's Rob? He said I ain't threw y'all names away. Curtis Stevenson. Chris Stevenson. Anybody know Chris Stevenson? You know what? I might can catch him on Instagram. I'll look his name up on Instagram. Cause I gotta send his mags and his coupler for that. But I'll get to it. First of all, y'all, had a good day in service today. Wonderful word was preached. So had a good time at God's house. So can you invite somebody? They got this new feature, present or invite. Yes, okay. First of all, I'm gonna copy this. So if we want to come on, we're gonna talk about but we're gonna throw somebody on. I think I just subscribed to somebody's YouTube channel not too long ago. Yeah. I think I featured him already, but sure, we're gonna feature him again today. Let's just do.
And you can only keep one. Which one would you keep? Personally, I'm going with this one. Y'all let me know. If you had to get rid of all of your guns and you could only keep one, which one would you keep? Personally, I'm going with this one. Y'all let me know. If you had to get rid of.
Shout out to that young man, Warrior for Christ. Go check him out. I've been following him for a minute now. Great channel. What we gonna dive into, y'all? Now you tell your kids pick up a book sometime, read some. Well, I've been reading this book right here, Atomic Habits. Been a pretty good book. I'm at chapter 9, about halfway through the book, just about. And so the 8th chapter that I read, which is the rule of family and friends in shaping your habits. I'm gonna throw that up there. We're gonna talk about family and friends. That shape your habit. What really got me interested in this chapter in particular, it says we imitate the habits of three groups of in particular. So we inhabit. Ow, freak! I just hit my knee. What's going on? My brother Jason, my brother Life with Baton Rouge, my brother Charles Henry, my brother Howard J, and my brother Odin Armory. What's going on, fellas? And so, I'm a kind of, cause I did a hello to my gun talk with dad for my children. I talked about this to them, so we're gonna dive into this in particular. And I took a couple notes because I've been taking notes. What the hell did I do with my notes? Probably, I don't know what the hell I just did with my notes. All right, we go. Oh, my notes right here. Okay. So the first one is the clothes. The second group is the many, and then the third group is the powerful. And so with the clothes, imitating the clothes is basically your family and friends who you grew up around, who your family grew up around, extended, your extended family. Eventually, it's basically your extended family. And it says, for that group, as a general rule, the closer we are to someone, the more likely we are to imitate some of their habits. So that's basically saying, somebody like your brother, your older brother, somebody like your mother, your father, your sister, your cousin. So them are people that they're talking about when they imitating the clothes. One of the most effective things you can do to build better habits is to join a culture where your desired behavior is the normal behavior. So that's like, if you want to be an artist, you will hang out with artists. If you want to be a musician, you'll hang out with musicians. So in that aspect, surrounding yourself with people who have the habits you want to have yourself, your rise together. So that's basically your family and friends. Your family shapes your habits. And ultimately, people around, like people you call your auntie, that's really not your auntie, but she's been knowing you since you was a kid, and you've been like a nephew to her or a niece to her. So talking about people like that with the clothes, they help shape who you are going to be once you get out on your own, or once you eventually head out to college, or you just decide not to go to college and you decide to work. They are the biggest. You imitate them the most because you're around them pretty much all your life until you become an adult. And you're still around them, but they're the most important nuclear in shaping who you're going to be as far as your behavior. The next one was imitating the many. The many means the tribe. Tribe means like when you're a kid and you get to middle school, peer pressure. When you get to high school, that's when you start to deal with people called within a tribe. Because you want to be popular, you want to fit in, so sometimes you adapt your behavior around a certain group of people. And so with that one, it's whenever we are unsure how to act, we look to the group to guide our behavior. That can be good and that can be bad. You can follow the rules and the morals that your family taught you, whether that's being respectful, being thoughtful, being generous, being non-judgmental, And so they have a big part. And once you get to that group, are you going to follow the group, even though the group can be doing something wrong just to fit in? Are you going to follow them? And in some cases, get jail time. In some cases, get unalived. And so you have to figure that whole thing out, and you got to really figure out: are you going to be with a group of people, or are you the one that's going to walk away and go about your business to where you are able to make it home? And so that has a big part in the tribe. You can follow the tribe or you can leave the tribe. It's all up to you and how you was raised, and if that's gonna come into play when you're dealing with people. More than likely, we all know once you get right around middle school, high school, you're gonna experience some different group of people. You might not be in with that crowd of people. You might be cool with this crowd of people. And so you have to make that distinct decision when you're dealing with people. The next one, of course, imitating the powerful. These are people with status and prestige. Everybody wants to be successful. Let's not get it twisted. But with being successful, what are you doing? And so most of the time, we try to copy the behavior of successful people because we desire success ourselves, just like I just said. And so this could be a good or bad thing, depends on how you was raised. You can live in poverty and you can see a kingpin, you can see a major, dope dealer driving a Benz, and you try to imitate what they doing to get where they are. And sometimes you can be unalive, you can end up in jail for years. And so you imitate the powerful. And in a lot of them communities, drug dealers, depends on where you're at, are the most powerful ones that a lot of kids see. Fathers are out the home a lot. And so mom has to work to keep the bills paid. And so a lot of times they're in the streets and being exposed to that type of behavior. And eventually some make it out, do the smart thing with the money, some don't, and end up being unalived or either spending some time in jail and in and out of prison, until the day that they are unalived. You know what I'm saying? So you have to. What's going on, Mr. Bull? Ultimately, to me, the close or the closer, which is family and friends, really can have the most influence when it comes to the many and to the powerful. I have two. If you've been following me on here on YouTube, I have two beautiful children. And me and their mothers, their first line of behavior. When you go somewhere, when you are around people, treat people with the utmost respect. If you are disrespected, do stand up for yourself, but at the same time, be cautious of what's going on around you. And so I don't know how y'all feel about it, but I'm gonna drop this in the link. But it's been really teaching me a lot about and it's pretty much tiny changes, remarkable results. Basically, an easy and proven way to build good habits and break bad ones. And so it's teaching you how to kind of get out them bad habits. I'm gonna give you another example out this book I thought was really cool. Which we're gonna get into a little bit. Oh, and in the mini, he gave an example. A scientist philologist, he did an experiment with the mini, imitating the mini. I'm gonna show y'all this picture of this. Oops, this right here. Oops, this right here. So you got one line on one sheet of paper. You got 3 lines on the other sheet of paper. All right. I'm gonna tell y'all this. The line that looks like the one that has the one line on the sheet of paper is C. And what he did was he had a classroom full of students. And say you bring maybe 2 students in that's actually actors. They're not part of the classroom. They're just part of the experiment. Everybody agreed in the room that it was C. With the 2, they tend to stick with the answer C. So what he did was, a couple minutes later, maybe 4 actresses walked in, making it maybe 4 to 6, making it 6 to 8 actors walking in on the experiment. He noticed that, say if them 6 out of them 2 say he brought in 6 and he already had 2 in the classroom. Say if that 6 said it was the line was the letter A, the students would tend to change their answer because of wanting to fit in. And that's why I say with the imitating the mini, it could be a good or it can be a bad thing depending on what situation you get caught up in as far as life. And that's why I say that one is really important, because if you have children, you try to teach your children to do right by others and do right by the people that surround them. And so I thought that was really interesting. Another thing is the habit stacking plus temptation bundling formula is. And so what this formula is after I currently have it, so after I listen to my music, or like this, after I get my morning coffee, I will say one thing I'm grateful for that happened yesterday. Need. So it's basically after a current habit, I will habit I need. So say once I enjoy my coffee, well, I need to say something positive. If that makes sense to you guys. Hold on. Close this. And then with the temptation bundling, after habit I need, I will habit I want. So, for example, after I get back from lunch break, I will call potential clients need. And so it's kind of like, okay, say I so another one this is the other one. So after I get back from my lunch break, I will call 3 potential clients. So that is your current habit with your habit I need. The next one will be your habit I need with the habit I want. After I call 3 potential clients, I will check ESPN. That is a want. And so you can kind of do that with your day-to-day habits or your day-to-day life. Like I could say, I want to draw. Well, say it's something that I need to do. Well, I will listen to music. Or you can do it at the same time. I will listen to music while I draw. Say if you're working on a painting or something for a client, that's called temptation bundling. And so it's teaching me how to pretty much use what you already have, try to get the bad out the way, and in the same at the same time, enjoy something that you like at the same time. And so, it's been a real good, interesting book that I've been reading. I would recommend it to anybody that has some things that they want to work on towards their selves and a couple goals. But oh, she done popped in. What's going on, sis? Y'all know I can't never get her name right, so I just call her Miss Ewing now. I don't even try no more, y'all. And so, it's me and their mother's job to kind of form good habits while they're young. I had a situation yesterday with my daughter. A friend was supposed to come over yesterday while we was out and about at my wife's cousin's house. And so she called my wife. My wife told her. So my wife calls me. Well, you gonna go get Maya? No, I'm not going to go get Maya. Maya should have had all that together before she decided she wanted to stay home and wait for her friend. So no, I'm not going to get Maya. Maya's stuck at the house where she belongs. Sorry, it's a decision she decided to make, so a decision she got to live with. I'm not going to get her. And so she had texted my wife on something. And so my wife was kind of heated and kind of cussed her out. So I got on the phone with her. And I told her, I said, ain't no point in you calling. You got to live with the decision that you made. It's a habit. Your habit. We gotta break bad habits. If your friend says she coming and she don't come, then that's on you. That's not on me and your mother. Your mother told you before you got out this car, make sure she's coming over because I'm not coming to get you. And so I wasn't going to get her. Her mother wasn't going to get her because she had to learn that just because somebody didn't come, that doesn't. When I called her, well, I don't want to be here. I said, well, you're stuck there. You might as well enjoy it because nobody's coming to get you. And so I had to teach her yesterday that just because your plans didn't fall through don't mean that you're going to interrupt ours. And when I mean ours, it means me and your mother's. You're not going to all of a sudden call us and get on our nerves because your friend didn't come over like you thought she was. So another behavior that I got to knock out with her, it's not going to, things sometimes are not going to work out the way you want them to work out. Does that mean somebody's going to always come rescue you after you made your decision? No. So you have to learn, and she had to learn yesterday, that nobody's coming to get you. So all that crying and all that hollering, you might as well cut that out and go ahead and enjoy yourself, baby girl. I don't know what you're doing all that for. That ain't going to make me come and get you because you hollering and you acting a fool. It's going to make me knock your head off of anything. And so I had to teach her that yesterday. And my wife had said her mother's at the shop. I don't think she's going to come all the way back over here. Come back, go back, and come all the way over here to drop her off. And my wife said she might not come in my. So no, she's supposed to be coming over. So at that point, you made your decision. All right, we're gonna drop you off. And so yeah, I had to tell my wife, no, I'm not going to get her. No. You know, her cousin kind of drives a little bit, but her auntie wanted to come go get her, but in her situation, it was no for her for a reason. And so I am family and friend are close. I'm trying to teach her that everything is, just because something don't work out, doesn't mean you're going to be able to get yourself out the jam. And so yesterday, it was a hard lesson. She was crying hysterically. I had to tell her, but you might as well go ahead and toughen that one out. You ain't nobody come to get you. And you ain't gonna die. So you might as well sit down, watch some TV, and go ahead and chalk it up as you staying at home. And so this book is teaching me how to think a little bit different. You know what I'm saying? And trying to turn some of my bad habits, like for example, smoking. One thing they said in the book is people we get lost focusing on the goal rather than the process to get to your goal, which I thought was very, very interesting because we all look at the end result. Well, I want to achieve the goal, but what are you doing? What is your process as you're trying to achieve your goal? And that was very interesting because a lot of us get caught up in what the goal is, but you're not caught up in the process in getting what is your process to get to the goal that you want to get to. Um, and that's in a lot of things. That's even with me and been trying to get in the police department. Um, I was focused on the goal. The goal is to get into the police department. And so now just reading this book, it kind of got my mind shifting as I'm trying to go back and get in law enforcement to kind of reshift my thinking in the process of me waiting on the sheriff department, and then recently in the next couple of weeks, not in the next couple of weeks, I'm about to start back working out again and focus on getting into the police department. And so different mindset now. What am I doing in the process of trying to reach that goal is my biggest thing. I'm not focused on the goal, but I'm focused on the process to reach my ultimate goal. And so my mindset is a little bit different than when I did it the first time 7-8 years ago. And so I'm more focused on the process. What y'all doing on this Sunday, man? It's just me rambling about your atomic behavior, turning your bad ones into good ones. Everybody wants a reward in whatever you do. You know what I'm saying? And my ultimate reward is to become something I always wanted to be, even as a kid, a police officer. And so, the reason why I'm doing it, because that reward is going to fulfill something that I always wanted to do. What's up, V1? Oh, just doing chores. Oh, I ain't doing that right now. I'm down here in my office. And so, that's where a lot of, to me, that I'm more focused on now, more than anything, is whatever I do, I'm more focused on the process of me ultimately reaching a goal that I want to reach. Another goal of mine, and I'll be ordering it, Super Mario Brothers. I need to jump on my Nintendo Switch. What? I'm gonna show y'all. I already got it made up. Oh yeah. Everybody know what. Hold on, let me. What's up, most hated? Hold on, y'all. Let me. I want to come to. I want to. But I want to kind of. But y'all, I'm about to pick her up. Storm 1. That's what I'm naming her. All white with the black on it. Oh, that's right. Trying to show y'all what I'm on. There she go. So I'm doing a combo with my platypus, and I'm doing a collabo with my 300 blackout. I'm gonna show y'all where I got this inspiration from. Let me put this guy on here. This is where I hold on. Oh, what the hell is that guy's name? Hold on, y'all. I know I saw this. Let me see something. Yeah, let me find it. Is that his name? Mrs. 300 Blackout. Mrs. 300 Blackout. Let me see something. I ain't see hers though. I seen somebody else's. I gotta find it now. Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. You right, man. Bullshit. You had me thinking. I'm thinking the wrong thing. Okay. Bro, I gotta find a video, dude. This dude did when he did the Star Wars thing with his. What he did was, dang, I gotta find that video. It was sweet when I saw it. I really don't want to change that off. Let me see if I can find that video, y'all. It was man. When I say this dude, he had somebody do his case. When I say this dude did a hell of a job on this dude's case, he had a staccato and he had a Daniel Defense rifle in the staccato, and he did like a mesh between the two, and it's in a case. And he had this guy, I can't remember the guy's name, but he had this guy shows shows I'm looking at it. Let me see if I can find this. I'm gonna look at my history because I just didn't I just send it to somebody? Oh, matter of fact, I think I sent it to the hold on. Who did I send it to? Oh, I sent it to what's the name? Well, no, I sent it to somebody about video. That might have been him. That might have been him. I forgot the guy's name, but he did a. When I say this dude did a hell of a job on this case, and so I am going to do with mine. Cause instead of that, I want plexiglass. I'm gonna see if I can get somebody to do it off of plexiglass. But mine gonna be the yin and yang symbol, and I'm gonna tell you why. I decided to do it in the yin and yang symbol. And so this is, I will be ordering my Steph's arms pretty soon. I hate to do it in all white, but it's a reason why I did it behind the all white. Really, to tell you the honest to God truth. I really wanted to do it in another color, but it kind of got my Steelers colors in it, just a tiny little bit. Just a little bit. But we're gonna do this one. We're gonna do this collab. When I saw this, that's what really made me change the colors on my on the platypus that I was getting. Just because I saw this video pop up on my feed. Where is he at? This dude did a hell of a job on this case. Where you at? Where you at? Where you at? Yeah, somewhere in here. You hate when you can't find somebody's name? Where was it? Oh, yeah. Okay, here you go. It's the dark side loadout. That's what they call it. Hold on. I got it now. All right, here you go, y'all.
Fast real-world self-defense escalates, and this holster's for you. The Breakout 2.0 holster provides 3 critical advantages. The first, providing rapid response for up-close encounters. The Breakout draw bypasses the lag of generic
piece where the pistol sits, where the mag sits. All those are functional pieces, but you didn't stop the aesthetic.
Hold on, y'all. Here you go.
I have been waiting to do this review for quite some time. And no, I'm not going to do the review from behind this case the whole time. I just wanted you to see how massive it was. But this is going to be a multifaceted episode because we did a lot of shooting with this outdoors and indoors. And we also had a chance to speak with Peter Wakeham Jr., who actually made this case, the 2A artist. Did a wonderful job. And actually, we're going to take it right out to the range on Black Pines to talk with him about this case first. Let's go. All right, guys, before we get to shooting this loadout, the Vader XC and the Maul DD-M4V7, I was graced with the presence of the man behind this beautiful case inspiration, Mr. Peter Wakeham Jr., and I had to just get his thoughts and his ideas and the process of how he created this amazing look that inspired the loadout. Because, we talked about, I wanted to create a custom loadout and what would look cool. And I threw out the idea of Star Wars and Vader and Maul. And I mean, he immediately just jumped right in. Peter, tell us how did you even begin your process of wrapping your brain around what we've created here?
So the whole idea was it's got to say dark side.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt like that had to be the presence that was pushing everything else forward.
Right.
So we did the dark side letters. These are a font that I adjusted and made to sit in this case the way you see it.
Yep.
And then that is illuminating on the faces of both Vader and Maul.
And because we started here, right? We did the lid first, right?
Yep. And so the lid was the showcase piece, but but to incorporate into the lore, I knew I had to put something in that anyone could take a look and say, oh yeah, that's definitely Star Wars stuff.
Right.
So we put the
TIE fighter.
Yep, the TIE fighter in there. We put the Death Star in there. The other little planets to just show that there are,
we're in outer space.
Galaxy. Yeah.
So, the things that I really appreciate about this is I appreciate how, obviously this is a functional piece. This inlay where the gun sits, that's a functional piece. Where the pistol sits, where the mag sits, all those are functional pieces. But you didn't stop the aesthetic there, right? It's like, okay, so when the guns come out, now you just have this gaping hole in the case, and that doesn't really look nice, right?
Correct.
So then it was like, what can we put here? And I thought that was brilliant, of you to think even that much further. And so guys, we literally just looked up Star Wars phraseology, and tried to find the things that spoke to what I felt about this loadout, and maybe even I feel about myself, and things that just make sense with the overall theme here. And so like we have a phrase in here, it says, only those with the power to control the dark side can truly be free. And that's, I like stuff like that, because it's like we all have these things, these battles inside, and only those that can control that, those that can control that power, harness that power, can overcome that and be a better person and accomplish their goals and aspirations and things like that. So that's what it meant to me. But then there's a playful side of me, right? So there in the pistol, what does it say?
Sith happens.
Sith happens.
Breaking news. Do not buy new windows if you live in Michigan. Homeowners in Michigan living in zip codes start.
You don't need to say much more about that. Last but not least, the Darth Vader coin that says,
it said, presented by Darth Vader for being most impressive.
Most impressive.
Most impressive.
When I think of legacy and what I leave behind, I would like to leave behind a whole nother new medium of art.
You're helping move you're helping create growth in the creative space.
Correct.
And that's pretty awesome, man. So good on you for that. And that's why you're the 2A artist, bro.
Yeah.
All right, before I get too in-depth on this review, I want to give a solid shout out to my boy Vinny at Monsoon Tactical that handled everything about this loadout aesthetically, and even did some some trigger work for me on the XC. Monsoon, he did an absolute knockout job on this, nailing the entire design aesthetic that we wanted for the theme. Welcome. This is Vader and Maul. Dark Side loadout. Staccato XC is Vader. I wanted to name this Vader, but I had to name this Maul because of it's a rifle. And Darth Maul has the double lightsaber, so I really thought I could play off the double lightsaber thing with the barrel inside the handguard and then the buffer tube. And it worked out. So this is Maul and this is Vader. And I think this is right for Vader because Vader is he doesn't really move fast. He doesn't exert a lot of effort in anything he does, but he does it flawlessly and lethally. And that's what the XC is. The XC is my point and shoot. It is the one pistol that I will bring to any gunfight. It's freaking awesome. I did a full review on the XC already, Shermanized, so you can go check that out to, really find out about all the nuances on this. But just know that it's a point and shoot with the compensator, and then you throw the X300 on the front. You got more weight. There is no recoil. This thing is just a point and shoot. But as far as the aesthetic goes, we did monsoon gray on the slide, and we did a mixture of gloss black and flat black everywhere else with a small pop of red. I'm running the SRO because that is my go-to optic on top. The Atlas trigger and monsoon made it a short stroke trigger right at about 2 pounds. This thing is just built to run and run fast. So that's it. Vader, Staccato XC. You already know how I feel about staccatos. I don't need to spend a whole lot of time there. Now let's come over to Maul. Maul has transformed a few times since I got it.
So that is inspiration behind my 300 blackout that I just did. And then I am going to do the all white. My rifle is black with white accessories. Another thing that I got to do is I got to get these pins out to a smith. A gunsmith. Hold on, let me put me back up here. I got to get these out to a gunsmith and put these white pins. I am going to change the grip on it, and I'm going to do I think I have to do the mag release. I'm gonna do that in white as well. And so I'm probably just gonna order and have the gunsmith put both of them on. But I am doing the all white stealth arms with it. So the reason why I'm gonna do the yin and the yang is because if you know, my theme is actually going to be Storm. I mean, if you're not a 80s baby, you might not know nothing about X-Men, and so that's inspiration off the white and the black, which is gonna be, of course, when she's in the all white, she's an X-Man. When she have on her all black, she's evil. And so that's why I'm doing the yin and the yang thing between it. And so just to go around it a little bit, I did the yellow because she does have the yellow stripe going across her chest into her sleeves. And so as you can see, I'm doing the black with the silver going. Where the silver is going to be, silver is going to be in the back, going on the trigger, the whatever, the safety thing in the back, and I'm gonna go ahead and run it all the way down to the grill with a little bit of yellow in between. Like I said, I'm gonna have a little bit of yellow. I'm not gonna do too much yellow in here, y'all. She didn't have a lot of yellow on her uniform. So as you can see, I did a little bit of yellow with the black grip, with the all white lower, with the all white slide. I did the chrome barrel because I'm doing the silver in here. I'm gonna do the silver trigger. Hold on. So as you can see, I am going to do the trigger silver with the black stripe in the front of it. Silver where you can put the light, where the rails are at the bottom. And then since I did the silver, I am going to do the silver polished silver threaded barrel with it. And I am going to do the ACRO cutout on it because I want to put that big boy on there. And so that is going to be her. Switching between the evil Storm and the good Storm. With her white suit on will represent the pistol. With her black suit on will be representing the rifle with the white accessories on it. And that's the reason why I am going with Storm. The pistol is going to be named Storm 1. Like I said, it's kind of part of my Pittsburgh. You know, Pittsburgh's black, white, and yellow with a little bit of silver in it. So it also is also going to represent my Steelers as well as far as the pistol, but it's going to be about Storm. And so I'm gonna show y'all. I'm into the. So if y'all see, I got my pops up here. Yeah, and I didn't notice it, but y'all, she's gonna be named Storm 1. I actually have the Marvel's pop, her in white. So I am going to do the Storm evil versus good, but instead of him doing the dark side, I'm going to put mine as the quiet storm. And so that's going to be the theme of my quiet storm. When she's good and when she's bad, with the yin yang symbol in between her somewhere. And so black and white. Can't get it no better than that. So it's going to be called Quiet Storm. And so once I get it together, I'm probably going to get in contact with old dude. It's basically, I already got the case. So what I'm probably going to have him do is, I don't know. This one is gray. I'm going to see if I can find an all black one. Because I love the Pelican cases. And this is a Plano. This one is pretty good still. This is a Plano. I got my other ones are what's the name? But I'm gonna have to get another one of these in all black. I'm gonna see if we can. I'm gonna get in touch with old dude, and I'm gonna get that going. And so I'm gonna do that. That's gonna be my Quiet Storm loadout. And so I can't wait to get that up and rolling. Once I get the pistol, then I'll get in touch with old dude and see if he can do some work to a case for me. But that's gonna be my version, my 300 blackout 10.5 inch in my Stealth Arms platypus. That's gonna be the Quiet Storm edition loadout. And so I'm quite excited. Can't wait to get the pistol here. You know, it takes about, I think they said it takes up to about 6 weeks. Once they get the rolling on it, to get it done and finished and shipped out to your FFL. And so pretty soon I'll be getting ready to order that Stealth Arms. I did call them to see if they could, because you know it's going to get powder build up in the front of the gun. And so I did call them, seeing if they can do the black to silver to white. Little black at the beginning of the tip of the pistol. So I was gonna see if they can do the black. I was gonna see if they can do, oh my God, right. Right here. I was gonna see if they can do the black to silver, and then the rest of it, of course, would be white. All right, V1, thanks for dropping through, pimping. And see if they could fade it into the white. Unfortunately, I did call them. They said they couldn't do it that way. So what I am going to do probably is, when I shoot this gun, I usually put what is it called? Slide wrap on some of my pistols. And so I think I'm gonna do the same thing with this one. So when I shoot it, the first part of it, I am going to put some, I'm not worried about the barrel. I'm just worried about more of the white finish. I am going to throw some, slide wrap on it to kind of keep it from getting dirtied up. But that's the solution I came up with. Try to keep it as white as possible. I'm not saying it's gonna be perfect, but that's the only thing I can come up with. So, but pretty soon, man, I am looking forward to doing my Quiet Storm loadout yin yang with the with Storm theme herself. So I am going off, of course, Storm. You know what I'm saying? And so that's what I'm going off of. And so that's what it's gonna be. Of course, if you there go the rest of the team. Or some of the enemies, some of the good people, some of the non-good people. So I think instead of the coin, I think I'm gonna put this in there. I think I'm gonna try to find some way to incorporate the storm in there some kind of way. And so, but that's all it is, folks. It's about almost an hour. But man, just remember what I said. The close, the group, and then the powerful. Don't sell yourself. And I mean, if that's what you want to do, go right ahead. But don't be so infatuated with others that you find yourself in a very terrible situation. Because you want to be in the in crowd. The in crowd can get you unalive. The in crowd can get you locked up. I've seen too many cases, and of course here you've seen that everybody's been watching this. You know somebody that been jammed up for going along with the crowd, and has spent an substantial amount of time in prison. Can't seem to stay, and the system is made. And I'm gonna cover. I just got through watching on Netflix or either Prime. I can't remember which one it was. But I was just watching the Meek Mills documentary when he got caught at the age of 19 and was in the system for over 2,000 days off some trumped up charges that a cop gave him when he was 19. And served his time, but his judge just kept on getting him with minor infractions. Paperwork was falsified by the cops, but they weren't looking into that until a lot of cops found out that they ended up getting convicted and was dirty. And so a lot of them cases had to be revisited through particular cops that got caught up in it. And then that's when Philly, and if you don't know, Meek Mills is from Philly. They did have like in the other city, a drug task force to kind of crack down on the war of drugs. And so carrying a pistol, walking out the house, and they end up roughing him up, you know what I'm saying, face all messed up, all bloody. They end up stealing some money from some cousins of his. Now, Meek Mills didn't sell dope. He was a rapper. Now, his cousins, if you watch the story, you know what it is. But end up getting roughed up, banged up real bad. And I mean, even the DEA and the other people that told her that he didn't do anything to her. I mean, this is when he, if you don't know, Nightmare and Dreams had just came out. He had just signed with Rick Ross. You know what I'm saying? Going to shoot. I mean, one incident she called him into court was supposed to have the shoot at a one spot and end up changing it. And that violated his parole. Another one was it was a big storm or something. He had to couldn't get to the airport, so he had to drive in a car to get there and end up violating his probation. Was ready to get off his probation. He had messed around. A guy at the airport wanted a picture. He didn't take a picture with him. He came back with the guy that he was with. They end up trying to jump on him, so he jumped in. You know, naturally you jump in. He jumped in, you know, trying to get you know what I'm saying, get that together and violate his probation. And then he ended up being in Philly, was a little bit stressed out. Got on, you know, Philly is known for the popping the dirt bikes and the four-wheelers. End up popping Willie. Somebody had him on camera. The next day, they end up, what's going on, bud? They end up arresting him for reckless driving. And he said as soon as he walked in the courtroom and saw 7 sheriffs to 8 sheriffs standing there, he was so numb to the system, he knew he was going to prison. She ended up hitting him on a 2-year sentence for dirtbag riding. And the DEA and everybody said, man, he's not out here killing nobody. He's not out here hurting nobody. You know what I'm saying? Just gonna throw this out. But the judge, she felt that she had to give him some time. Like she was, I don't know. It was the way the judge was acting was real weird to Meek Mill. So if you ever on Netflix or it's either Prime, look at the Meek Mills. And that's when he end up, a lot of people end up appealing their trial because of the dirty cops. She wouldn't grant him a retrial, even though it showed that the cop was dirty, lying on his paperwork. She still wouldn't give him a retrial or wouldn't let him out on bail. And so he ended up having to, and the way he ended up even getting in the legal system, how he even got that even going back in the day. I don't know if he's still the owner or something for the 76ers, but he ended up being real good friends with the owner of the 76ers, and that's how he started, him and The Rock, Jay-Z and them. Because if y'all don't know, Meek Mills was signed to Maybach Music, but his representatives was The Rock, was Jay-Z and them. And so Jay-Z and them started getting lawyers to dig into it and end up discovering a big scam with the police officers, which end up being a very, very big deal in Philadelphia, about cops lying on paperwork, doing anything to get a search warrant, and he ended up being the face of injustice. And man, watch it. You are the way, and the owner of the 76ers didn't think he thought that Meek Mill was making excuses by him saying that the justice system is not made for black people. And when he saw, and his lawyers and the Rock lawyers started looking at his case and really going back and really deciphering this cop's paperwork, found out that cop did a big old lie. They ended up taking like $3,000 out the house, $30,000 out the house, that they did not report in their report. And so it was a big scandal with the Philadelphia Police Department at that time, on how they was planning stuff, how they was robbing drug dealers, and it was a big scam. And so at one point he said in this police report, as Meek Mills is riding his bike down to the corner, and he on his house is 3 houses off, him and his cousin's house is 3 houses off the corner. He rides down past them to go to the corner, and Meek Mills makes a sale. He goes back into his cousin's house, and that was the valet for getting a warrant to search the house, which was a lie, because they said the way he was parked, it was a phone, it was a pole, and he said he recanted and said, as Meek Mills is pedaling down the street, he's right behind Meek Mills, on Meek Mills' ass, as he makes the drug sale. Anybody know in the hood, if you're not from around here and you just sitting in a car, the first thing you're gonna think is that's a cop. And so that was another lie he put in his report. Man, if y'all, man, that was real deep. But they kind of stopped the documentary to where they didn't get to him being able to get his trial. They stopped it at that. I wish they would have kept going because I really wanted to see what happened after so Meek Mills, them team had to go to the Supreme Court in Philly in order, because she was not budging. She was not, even after they showed proof that this cop was lying about and falsifying some paperwork, she still wouldn't let Meek Mills out of jail. Oh, he's still fighting it? Okay, but she still wouldn't let this man out of jail. Even though they proved that this cop was lying, had witness statements from his former partners, people that got locked up with him, said that, because he said that Meek Mills pointed the gun at the officers. The guy that was actually one part of the guy's unit said Meek Mills did not shoot that gun. He said if Meek Mills would have pointed that gun, he said guaranteed he would have put Meek Mills down that night. They had all that, and this particular judge that he had at the time was not letting this man out of jail, even though the DEA said he's not doing anything wrong to violate his probation. And then messed around, put him back on after about to get ready to get off his probation, put him back on another 2-year probation. So he spent like 2,000 days underneath the system, and wouldn't let and so they had to go to the Supreme Court. Supreme Court told her she has to let him out of jail. And that's where it pretty much left off. And then him getting into the guy said, because Meek Mills told the 76er guy that he dreamed of coming home on a helicopter. So the guy that owned the 76ers flew out to a airstrip in the helicopter, went to the jail, grabbed him. They got on the plane, went to go see the first game of the season for the Philadelphia 76ers. And then it pretty much left off that. And I wasn't 100% if he was still fighting, but the last time it left off, they was trying to overturn his conviction. Him and his lawyers, but a lot of people don't know. He's signed to Maybach, but he's represented by The Rock, which is The Rock Nation, Jay-Z them. And that Jay-Z them lawyers and the white guy that owned it, the 76ers at the time, I don't know if he still owns them or not, or co-owner or something. They both put together a team of lawyers, and they started researching his case. But they was actually researching the judge. The judge was being stubborn, and so that's why they went back to his original case to do an investigation on his original case. And once they got what was going on in the Philadelphia Police Department, that's when it broke loose. And that's when he started really getting into really started digging and being a spokesman for men that's being locked up off false paperwork or planting, or just stuff like that. And so he became a big part of that in the early 2000s. I want to say right around the mid 2000s. And he ended up doing that to kind of speak out to people that's incarcerated unjustly. And so shout out to him, man. But yeah, but his cousins, and what they did the dope selling, but they made sure he stayed in the studio. He didn't do any selling. And so falsified, he was coming out the house, cops surrounded him. He went to go put the gun on the ground. As he's putting the gun on the ground, they ran up and they kind of kicked him in the head and kind of beat him up kind of a little bit. Threw him in a kind of, their cousins say he kind of used his head as a battering ram and kind of banged his head up against the door. Threw him. He ended up hitting the TV, and then he ended up hitting the table. and they started whooping on him again, and he ended up getting messed up pretty bad off of it. And so that's a good one. If you ain't watched it, man, go watch the Meek Mill's Free Meek, I think is what's the name of the documentary. But I didn't know you still fighting that bug. He's still trying to fight that. That's been years. Meek Mill 30-something now. He's still fighting that case. That's been years. You know how long that, man? That's been years. He's still trying to fight that case. Because he was facing 19 counts. The two biggest ones was pointing a gun at an officer and distributing cocaine. That was the two major ones in his case. But they was charging him with 19 felonies, I believe, at that time. And he went up at 19. He was actually going to the store to go get some for his cousin when he got caught up in that. And instead of one of them going, they sent him. And he ended up, like I said, that ended up happening to him. Oh, there you go. He been on that paper for over 15 years for the same charge. But yeah, that really happened. And the fact that he's still fighting that, ain't no way he should be still fighting that. Mind you, judge was man, and it's a black, y'all, the crazy part is this is a black female judge. A black female judge. The judge that was in charge of his case was black, a black female. I keep giving you a break and you keep spitting it back in my face. And like, it was like she really got, it almost seemed like she was getting real personal in this particular, in Meek Mill's case. And Meek Mill, I'm not here robbing nobody. I'm not out here cussing out nobody. I'm not out here stealing from nobody. I'm actually out here trying to make money to feed my family. And she made it 10 times harder, but that's what probation is, man. It's almost like you still got the ball of chain on your leg. So you're truly not free in a sense. You still belong to the system. And I mean, when they left off, he was like almost between 2,100 to 2,600 days still in the system because of the lies of a cop. And that's what I mean by what I'm reading in this book. Oh, shoot. Atomic Habits. Real good book, man. Like I tell my kids, I had to pick up a book. I'm almost done with it, y'all. I'm like halfway through it. Almost halfway through it, at least. But the only reason, because the last couple of chapters I've been actually been taking notes, so it's been longer to read. My goal is to read 2 chapters a day. I'm only down to 1 right now, so I'm taking the small victories as they come. So you know what I'm saying, trying to read a chapter a day. I got a book that I'm gonna purchase as soon as I'm done with this one. I want to be done with this one before football season, and it's coming up pretty soon. So I want to be done with this book, hopefully before the football season starts. I got another book in my Amazon account that I want to get, and so Tiny Changes, Remarkable Results. James Clear he the one that wrote this book. So I don't know if you're a reader, you want to put some positive things in your mind, some positive thoughts, turning some of your bad habits into good habits. Real good book, you know what I'm saying? He ain't telling you what to do, but he's giving you a good guideline on how to start. So shout out to him. That's my book. That's what I'm reading right now. Shoot, I got a couple. I got to finish reading because I bought the actually, y'all, I actually bought the Becoming Michelle Obama. I gotta read her book. I bought it. I started reading it and I stopped reading it for some reason. So I gotta start back. And once I'm done with the other book that I gotta start back reading the Michelle Obama book. So I got books. I just gotta read, man. I'm getting back on trying to cut a lot of the TV, a lot of the YouTube out, and kind of spend some time reading. You know what I'm saying? As they say, as Jay-Z said, if you wanna keep people down, put it in a book. If you know what I'm saying, put the knowledge in a book. You know, and so I've been reading, and so I'm gonna continue to read. Kind of cut the television out a little bit more. So that's another thing. You know, put on a little jazz. That was the stacking habit method. And so, you know, I might throw on my computer, my desktop, put on a little bit of jazz and get to reading a little bit. I need to read. A want is I like my music. So you put them both together, you accomplish something that you want to do, and you accomplish something that you need to do. And so that's kind of I get through reading a little bit, put on a little smooth, no words, just a little bit of jazz. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I grew up listening to Kenny G. My daddy loved Kenny G, and so I usually throw on a little bit of that Kenny G when I get to read. You know what I'm saying? I don't need no words. I just need something that's gonna, you know, be something a little light and a little subtle. And so, with that being said, man, I am up out of here, y'all. Great conversation. Love you guys for checking in with me. Starting not to come on, but I was like, I ain't doing nothing. I ain't going nowhere. So I'm going to jump on. Thank you guys for tuning in. It is your favorite gun owner checking out, man. Y'all be safe. Take care of one another. And get to know the gun laws in your states and surrounding states when traveling, man. Try to keep up on them, man, because these gun laws is getting crazy. And so try to keep up on what you can. Try to keep your people informed on gun laws that's actually toting a pistol. Let them know that, yeah, because you got the pistol, your homework is not done. You always stay up on what's going on in your particular state when dealing with your particular state that you live in. If you decide to travel, whatever state you decide to travel to, get to know their gun laws and what's going on in their states and what you can and cannot bring over. One place is like Chicago. Chicago don't allow no more than 10 rounds per pistol. Some states, Chicago don't accept your license. And so you have to be careful on where you're traveling and what you're doing. That's very important. And so with that being said, y'all be good. I'm about to go up here, watch me a little bit of TV. Before I go to bed tonight, I am going to read. What chapter am I on in this book? I am on the 10th chapter. So, y'all, look what I found. I found some neat. This one I got. This one, who is this? Oh, Penny, the clown. So this is basically a bookmarker. I thought it was neat. I think I got Chucky, Jason, and somebody else, I believe. I think I got 3 or 4 of these in a pack. And so they like little bookmarkers. They like knives with the different horror characters on it. And so I like those, so I picked up a set of those. But yeah, man, I'm starting to read, man. I'm starting to read, bro. I got another one that I don't know where I got this one from. But shoot, I got another one. Too Busy Not to Pray. So that's another book up here in my office that I'm gonna read. So I got some books I can start off with, but I'm not gonna start with the Michelle Obama once I get done with the Atomic Habits. I'm going to get another one that's Positive Vibes. It's a book called Positive Vibes. So I want to kind of keep my positive thinking going. and getting myself into better habits, and better habits means better thinking. And so that's another one that calls Good Vibes. I'm going to grab that book as soon as I'm done. When I get down to maybe the last 2 to 3 chapters of Atomic Habits, I will be ordering my other book, getting that in. Like I said, I want to be done with this particular book before the football season, and then I'll be starting on the other book. And I want to be done with that book because by the time I go out of town, which I am going out of town, I'm not going to tell you when, but I'll be going out of town. And so I want to start on and I'm actually going to bring a book. I am going to a place that has a nice beach. And so I want to do some reading while I'm down there. And so I want to start on the Michelle Obama book while I am on vacation. And so that's what I plan to do. And my goal is to get to the Michelle Obama book by the time it's time for me to go on vacation. That's my goal. I'm taking every little victory at a time. So when I read a chapter a day, that is a small victory. I don't focus on the goal. I focus on the process. And so my process right now is to read 1 chapter a day. I want to start by this week coming up reading 2 chapters a day. So that's my goal. I already did that's my process to my goal. And so right now it's 1 chapter a day. After the day, I'm looking next week to start reading 2 chapters a day. And we'll see how that brings. But I am thankful for the small victories. And so the small victory for me is I haven't did it every day, but I've been doing it most days. And so I'm pretty happy with being able to mostly get my reading done that 1 chapter a day. And so y'all got goals, man, knock them goals out. But ultimately, I'm looking at, and I think a lot of us need to look at the process and count every single victory that you get in your process of achieving your goal. And you'll get it done. You'll get it done. I believe in you. All right, y'all be safe. I'm out of here.